Hello people of the internet, hope you are doing well. My name is Ryan Fiskus, and I've seen a lot of you guys commenting on the video I made about the 2009 iMac in 2020. I originally wasn't going to make a follow-up video for that. I thought I was going to, on how I was able to get Mojave and ultimately Catalina onto this machine, but I ran into a few, let's say, odd problems. Everything still works. It's still a good machine, and if you manage to get one of these for really cheap, it's a good web browsing computer for YouTube or whatever. I just ran into a few issues along the way. For example, if I can get it to replicate itself here, that is supposed to be a black screen. That is the color red. It's a weird glitch that I've been having with the visuals ever since a few months after I bought this computer. Kind of feels like the 2011 MacBook all over again, but the weirdest part is it makes the computer take longer to boot, the fan goes crazy, and it's not a RAM problem either, because I swapped out the RAM multiple times. And if we go to About This Mac, we will see that we are not running, and my finger got into the way there. About This Mac. There we are. This is a 21.5-inch, late 2009, running a 3.06 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo, 8 gigabytes of 1067 DDR3, which probably is not the fastest it can take. However, it's the only RAM that I really have that works with this computer. We've got the GeForce Media 400 256 megabyte version, which is only a quarter gigabyte of RAM for, nothing. Okay, let's turn the light back on, and this was a process. This was a lot of work, and I'm going to do it all for you right here on camera. Because I have no more files in this thing, or at least I'm going to double check, and then we're going to delete the hard drive. Here's how it works. So for some reason, with Mojave to Catalina in patching, for some reason on this machine, I could not get Catalina to load. However, when I get High Sierra running on this thing, which was its maximum supported OS, and then go to Catalina directly from that operating system, somehow, some way, it works. I don't know if there's different kexts that are involved. I don't know if... I honestly have no idea what goes on. All I know is that it works, and for some reason it doesn't work with Mojave in that manner. We'll get to that later. Anyways, here's the follow-up. I actually don't use this computer anymore. It's been sitting for a few months because behind it is a work in progress that is 100% functional and just needs the adhesive strips around the outside for the screen. And that is a 27-inch 2012 iMac that I bought from my boyfriend's parents for $300. And it only needed a hard drive. Well, replacement. Anyways, back to this. This is the thing of the video. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut here, and we will see you at the next screen. Okay, so I made an error in judgment when I was about to start filming this whole video, because I had made the assumption that all of my files were in this 2011 MacBook Pro. However, that is no longer the case. Most of the files that I need are going to be right here in this 2007 MacBook that I have also reviewed on this channel, and still miraculously works, even though it keeps, wanting to die. Don't buy cheap batteries. Seriously, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Do not buy cheap batteries. They don't last. This thing barely lasts an hour now. But it's still good for making a High Sierra installer. Said that I can't install High Sierra on this machine. So the other things you'll need besides the High Sierra patcher are the installation files for High Sierra. You'll need some sort of external disk. I am currently using a 64 gigabyte SD card in a card reader. Now the reason I'm not just using a card, I'll be using this reader throughout the whole thing, just because it's more reliable that way. The SD card slot on the 2011 isn't very reliable anymore. It keeps kind of wonking in and out. I really don't want to take that thing apart again. I despise working on that thing now. it was a blast. It was a great computer. It's got all my music on it, but I think we're going to be officially retiring the 2011 MacBook Pro after this project. I will keep all the files. I'll keep it in running order. However, it's not my main machine anymore. I've replaced it. Sorry, buddy. So back to the issue at hand. Let's go ahead and I will insert the SD card. It's not wanting to go in, probably because I have it. Oh no, it's in the right slot. There we go. So we're going to refresh here. Install macOS Big Sur Beta. Yeah, sure. Use that to attempt an install of the Big Sur Beta on my 2012 iMac that I acquired recently. However, it didn't work. Nothing would really work on it. I probably did something wrong. So let's go ahead and go down to start operation. I know the camera is going to be a little wonky in this video and a little shaky. I don't currently have a tripod because I gave it to my boyfriend for his work from home stuff because he needs it. And I'm happy to give it to him. I've not selected a copy of macOS High Sierra. Oh, well, I will have to browse my file system. I'll be back in a sec. Hey, look at that. I found a copy of macOS High Sierra. It was on the desktop the whole time. Okay. Now let's go ahead and start operation. Do I want to install? Yes. Everything will be erased. That is totally fine. Oh, I think I used a really old password. Yes. An error occurred. Okay. No. This is not turning into a freaking crazy Ken episode. I'm not copying him. Oh no. Alright, I'll be back in a second, I guess. Okay, so I just took this card out of the reader, and it looks like it was locked, so I might have done that by accident. Let's go ahead and unlock it. I believe that's unlocked. I don't know. Maybe the card just has an issue. I'll be right back. There, card's back in. Oh look, it's being read by the computer. Oh look, it's being read by the patcher. Let's go ahead and refresh the list, actually. Install macOS Big Sur Beta. Start operation. Yes. Yeah, that was the problem? I mean, could have been worse. Alright, well, I'm going to let that do what it does, and then I will be back as soon as that finishes. Okay, so real quick thing. I know I can't be the only one who loves watching these things go along. These things are so much fun. Just seeing what it's doing is so nice. To know that it's progressing. Anyways. This is taking forever. That's because this Mac is the only Mac in my entire arsenal that still has a mechanical hard drive. The reason for that is I gave the SSD to the 2009 iMac, so, I mean, kind of had to make a trade there, and then, you know. Don't judge my life choices. Okay, so this is the point where the patcher has finished its business. I've unplugged the drive. I mean, it is a memory drive, but it's not like a hard drive. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the back of the 09 iMac. I have a keyboard and mouse already set up for it, so hopefully that will want to work for us. And we will try to get into our boot picker. Alrighty, the drive has been plugged into the back of the iMac. That's one of the reasons I really love these computers, is you can hide stuff on the feet. It's just so neat. You can have it away from everything. It's good. It's a good design. This computer's big and heavy and stupid, though, and I've already upgraded. But that's not what we're here for. So you're going to turn the computer on and hold Command, or no, it's Option. You'll hold Option, and hopefully we get a screen that allows us to get into the boot picker. Okay, so we are at the boot picker. However, The computer is frozen and doesn't see the other drive. Let's try rebooting it. This is why it's a process. Okay, and it completely ignored the keyboard. That was weird. Alright, I'll be back. Well, okay then. So we're going to be trying this 750 gigabyte actual regular hard drive instead of this stupid SD card. I think I'm actually having regular problems with that thing. I don't think it's just this application that's going screwy. The patcher is being a little bit weird though. It was showing errors multiple times. Yeah, this is turning out to be such a project. Holy cow. Let's see. The patcher is mounting things, which is probably good. Okay, well, I guess we will be back when it finishes that. Alright, we've got the hard drive plugged into the back of the iMac. Let's see if anything different happens this time. Those... There we go. Now that's spinning. Aha! I've got something going here. macOS Space System. Okay, so I'm going to turn the light down and I'm going to navigate through this with you guys. At least for this part. I really need to find like a selfie stick or something. Okay, well you guys get the point. It'll be loaded back up in a sec. Okay, so we've got the actual spinning Rust hard drive plugged into the back of this iMac here. We're going to turn it on and see if we don't get a different result. Oh, white screen this time because of an error. Ooh, gotta love that. Okay, we're getting to the boot picker. And we do indeed have success. We can get into the macOS base system, which is the USB installer, and once that loads up, we will get back to filming. Okay, so we are at the loader for the patcher, and we're getting a message that we don't have a mouse, even though I do have one, and it's very clicky. Is it not recognizing anything? Uh-oh. Okay, let me get a regular USB mouse. I'll be right back. Okay, so I figured I would just reboot it to see if that helps fix the problem at all. I have absolutely no idea, so if that doesn't happen to work, I'll probably just have to unplug this mouse and keyboard from my PC just to use on this, and which is weird because the keyboard is working, it's getting me to the boot picker, and the mouse obviously worked at some point because I was just using it like 3 minutes ago. I don't know, guys. This is one of the main big problems with old machines like this, is you have just weird problems that come out of nowhere. It could be software bugs, could be just whatever. Kind of sucks, but, you know, those of us who like to tinker really kind of enjoy the hunt or the game. So, the best thing to do is just to exercise patience. It sucks, but we'll get there. And besides, this is a weekend project. This is not something you'd want to do in a big hurry, just in case something does go wrong and you end up having to take the computer apart or replace the drive or, you know, do any of the things that need extra time to accomplish. So while we wait for that to load, yeah, we'll just kind of chill. Well, for those of you curious, the mouse and keyboard were not working on the secondary boot either, so I have now plugged in a regular mouse and regular keyboard, which, whatever. Let's go to Disk Utility in the Utilities folder here. Back. Okay, so this drive is the one we will want to erase. I'm gonna set my, actually wait, I don't have to set it down. So we're gonna name that Mac OS just something simple that you can remember, and then you'll want to format it. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, you might actually want to erase it in APFS. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna go through deleting the disk, which, because it's an SSD, it'll go a lot faster. I want to erase. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to the regular installer, which is here, I guess. macOS, yes, we're gonna continue. I 100% agree. And macOS Catalina is going to be the drive which we install. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Ah, crap. Oh, I totally goofed that up, didn't I? Hey, look at that. I totally goofed it. All right. Well, this is why I do these things, because I probably would have done that wrong either way. All right, let's try doing that. Okay, so we've got 120 gigabytes, macOS extended. All right, GUID partition map. Let's go ahead and try rebooting. We're going to try to get into the boot picker here with the original keyboard. Kind of hope I don't have to dig. Alright, so we were able to reboot, and now I have to plug at least the mouse back in. I always hate the metal scratching sound drives me nuts. But we're here. And that's all that matters. And we're going to be loading into the recovery partition of the patcher. Alright, we're back into the patcher. We have a mouse plugged in via USB. We've gotten back into everything that we need to. We're going to continue. I agree. And Untitled. Continue. Okay. So this is a computer that's officially supported by High Sierra. So that shouldn't take too terribly long. We'll get to the second part of the installation and really just kind of get into macOS from there. It's really an easy process. Alrighty, we are in the second portion of the installation of High Sierra on this iMac. I don't know how long it's going to take. You never know with these kind of things. It could take 5 minutes, it could take 20 years. So we will see what happens after we get our time remaining. We have a cursor, and we have a gray screen. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, uh-oh. Glitches are getting worse, people. I don't know that this computer might survive this. No, it's probably going to. Honestly, this is a computer I'm probably going to set aside as a piece of my collection after this, so I don't have much sadness that this machine's going away. I mean, it is kind of sad, but at least I'll have one more blast with it for you guys. Uh-oh, it froze. Alright, I'll be back after the installation gets to the other portion. Alright, we've set up the admin account along with a password because it refuses to let you do anything without that. And we are about to get into macOS High Sierra here in a minute. Might be taking a little longer than expected. But it'll get there. Eventually. Hopefully. Alright, we've set up the admin account along with a password because it refuses to let you do anything without that. And we are about to get into macOS High Sierra here in a minute. Might be taking a little longer than expected. But it'll get there. Eventually. Hopefully. So you may have just missed it. I forgot to press record, but it was just asking me about using the macOS installer as the backup drive. Here we are in macOS High Sierra. We are running on the hard drive. Everything has been installed. Now we're going to boot to the 2011 iMac, get that hard drive onto it, get the Catalina patcher files over, and install onto this machine. Okay, well, we might have a slight bit of a problem here. This is going to be running 15.7.02, and I don't know if the 2009 iMac is going to have a problem with that. It's a slightly newer version than I was running before. So I'm going to go ahead and browse for a copy of macOS, and that's going to be on desktop, and it's going to be install Catalina. And we're going to go ahead and open that, create a bootable installer onto macOS installer. It will ask that you will be erasing this data, making sure you're okay with that. And if you say yes, and I don't have a password on this one. So it's just going to do its thing. It's not really much exciting. I guess I could bring the log out. This screen is stupidly reflective and I hate it. That's also one of the reasons this computer is being retired. Alright, well, we're just going to let it do its thing for a minute, and we will be back, I guess. I canceled that entire installation onto that disk because I had a more fun idea. It's more risky, and it might not go well, but I think it'll be fun. So what I'm doing here is I'm copying all the individual files that I'll need to run the Catalina patcher onto this hard drive here. From that hard drive, I'll just plug it straight into the iMac, and we'll actually drag and drop the files from the hard drive to the computer itself, and we're going to install the Catalina patcher directly on this beastie here. Let's just go for it. I want to have some fun today. Even if it ends up, like, exploding into a million pieces, I think it's going to be fun if we do it the more risky way. So we'll see what happens there. After I get all these files moved, which is going to take probably about 6 or so minutes. So yeah, stay tuned, people. Okay, so we've got the hard drive with all of our installer files on it, so I'm going to go ahead and drag these both over to the desktop so they're easy to find. Anytime you have any big projects or anything, make sure you have your files in a place that makes them very easy to find, because I have spent hours sometimes looking for specific programs in cluttered computers that, well, it's all my fault that they were cluttered, but, you know, it just helps to make everything easier. Especially on a new install, if you can keep everything just clean right out the box, that's the best feeling. So we're going to wait for that to do its thing. I'm actually going to cancel these updates that I was going to be doing. But I think this takes precedence. So as I said earlier, I don't know if this version of Catalina is exactly going to work properly on this iMac. It works. It will power on, it will function, everything will be just fine, internet will work, the mouse and keyboard will work, everything is fine. However, I do notice some lagging in Catalina on this machine on a later build. And I hope that gets resolved, and I hope that like post-install patchers and stuff like that and all of that can fix it. I'm sure it will. But yeah, this will just take a minute. So both the Catalina patcher and the Catalina install files are ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and properly eject the old hard drive because we don't need that anymore. I will probably actually leave the mouse plugged in, the USB mouse, because it just feels a little better for this. So we're going to go to Catalina patcher, continue, browse for a copy, desktop. All that really was just like, here's the credits for the patcher and like what you should know. So we're going to do install macOS Catalina. So this is 15.7.02. I hope we're not going to have any slowdown. Here's where we're going to be taking the risk. Normally you would create a bootable installer onto a USB drive and install it into the USB slot and have a reliable boot disk if you ended up failing. However, I'm going to take a risk and install it directly onto this machine, because if it goes wrong, we can just start over again because there's no important information on this computer. I have it backed up everywhere. So start, type in our password there, and it's just gonna do its thing. Really nothing to do now but hope for the best and keep an eye on it. Wait, I lied. We can watch the log go by. I know most people don't find this interesting. I still do. Okay, we'll get back to this when it does something more interesting. Okay, so it's at a point where it's copying and patching the install files. I believe it stays at this point for quite a while. One of the things you really have to ensure when you do these installations of these patchers and things is just, honestly, as I said earlier, exercise patience. These things will take a long time sometimes, especially if you have an old hard drive or, you know, a computer that's just really not up to the task, or just a number of things. It could be your drive connection is weird, or you could have other sorts of problems. Just exercise patience with these things. I know it seems like an annoying long time, but it'll get there. Okay, so we're at the point where we're patching and copying the install.esd.dmg file onto the actual hard drive of this machine, and it's going to stay here for a long time in a lot of cases. As I said earlier, one of the best things to do is to exercise patience while you are waiting for these machines to do their thing. There could be a number of things slowing them down. It could still have an old mechanical hard drive. They could just be using a slow, crappy SSD. The machine could just also be very old and not as up to the task as you would think it should be, even with upgrades in it. That's the thing, is like, these machines are very good, but they're not new enough to be quite up to the task of most people's standards. So I think a lot of people are avoiding these machines. If you need something that's going to be somewhat, you know, on a current operating system and is going to be, you know, safe, secure, be compatible with all your latest stuff, then I would honestly look for something a little newer, but if you want a little bit of a challenge, something that's easier to take apart, these things are the way to go. These old iMacs, you can literally just take the glass off with magnets, and it's just a hilarious time. Okay, so we're at the point where we're patching and copying the install esd.dmg file onto the actual hard drive of this machine, and it's going to stay here for a long time in a lot of cases. As I said earlier, one of the best things to do is to exercise patience while you are waiting for these machines to do their thing. There could be a number of things slowing them down. It could still have an old mechanical hard drive. They could just be using a slow, crappy SSD. The machine could just also be very old and not as up to the task as you would think it should be, even with upgrades in it. That's the thing, is like, these machines are very good, but they're not new enough to be quite up to the task of most people's standards. So I think a lot of people are avoiding these machines. If you need something that's going to be somewhat, on a current operating system and is going to be, safe, secure, be compatible with all your latest stuff, then I would honestly look for something a little newer. But if you want a little bit of a challenge, something that's easier to take apart, these things are the way to go. These old iMacs, you can literally just take the glass off with magnets, and it's just a hilarious time. Okay, so we have been installing, patching, and copying this stuff for a while now. It will take a long time in a lot of cases. It just requires a lot of patience and just sitting here. Find something else to do while these things are loading, because it's kind of going to be a boring time if you're not super into reading these logs. I have no idea what any of that means, but I know it's progress. So I will once again be back when something more interesting happens again. Alright, so we are in... It has successfully installed the macOS patched Catalina. We're going to go ahead and continue. Go ahead and agree. I'm honestly super nervous about this. Agree. Install onto the hard disk directly. We're going to type in our password. And says about... Oh dear, okay. Alright. So we're going to restart. Oh gosh. Yeah, I really still don't like that red screen. It's not great. Okay, so we're just going to wait for it to do its thing. I'm kind of debating whether I want to cut or not. I don't know that it's really doing... Oh, there we are. Haha. Right as I was about to cut. Alright. We got an Apple logo, and we've got a loading bar. How long is that loading bar going to take? Anyone got any guesses? I'm going to say about 23 minutes for the install. Everyone going to place their bets? Well, however long it's going to take, it's certainly going to take a while. Especially on 8 gigabytes of DDR3 at 1067 megahertz, a slow, really cheap SSD, running on SATA 2, and, well, this machine is just old, so... I'll be back when we have a countdown. We had some movement. Oh, we're still getting some movement. Alright. That's a positive. So it looks like something's moving along. About 28 minutes remaining. Oh, right. That's going to be a fun bit of time. It's a bummer I don't have a tripod, so we can't do, like, a time-lapse of this. I'll just check in every few. It's fine. Gotta love macOS, right? It, suddenly made a huge jump from the beginning point there all the way to about, I don't know, a little bit more than a quarter. It still says 28 minutes remaining though, so we'll see what's up with that. Hey, look at that, we moved along to 20 minutes remaining. But, you know, it's not like it hasn't been longer than 8 minutes in real time at all. Ever. Alright, about 15 minutes left. 15 minutes. That's gonna be the longest year of my life. Oh, 14. So we're finally down past the 10-minute to go mark at 9 minutes remaining. Really hoping to see it go a little bit faster at this point, now that it's kind of at the end of installation. I know the about a minute remaining is going to take a very, very long time, so we'll just kind of cut to when it gets to that point, I guess. Okay, so the screen suddenly cut, and it's reloading. I don't remember if I've seen this before. I have attempted this installation in this way, I think 3 times now, successfully. However, that being said, I can't guarantee literally anything here, guys. I can't confirm literally anything is going to work on any system. All I can guarantee is that this hopefully is going to work on this computer, and this computer will actually boot. So that's kind of my disclaimer here, is I can't guarantee any results. I can't guarantee that this won't break your machine. I can't guarantee that you will have a good time using Catalina on a device like this. I don't know if I could take any responsibility for that. This is all at your own risk, including installing an SSD if you need to. The RAM installation, everything is at your own risk. So let's see what this does here. It's just kind of stuck. It's not really moving at all, as much as I can tell. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Okay. Oh, wait, are we in? Wait, are we? We're in Catalina. Oh my god. Yay! I mean, I had a feeling it would. So we're loading into Catalina now. I have put in the password, and I guess we're just going for it. It's taking a bit. It's probably adjusting some stuff. I can't believe this is actually working, though. Well, I can and I can't. I half expected this to work, so... Again, we're not gonna guarantee literally anything. Oh, okay, it's optimizing my Mac now. Isn't that nice? Well, I turn off the light. Okay, so just for the record, I'm filming this on the iPhone 12 mini. And while it is a fantastic phone, and I recommend anyone that needs... yeah, skip. Don't care. Anyone who wants a smaller iPhone, definitely go for the iPhone 12 mini, because this thing is amazing. It's a little hard to hold for filming, though. I'll admit that much. Set up later. Literally everything's set up later. I just want to get into Catalina. Oh my gosh. Not now. Continue. Okay, well, the keyboard is working. Speaker is working. Let's go with the light theme. That'll look better, I think, on this machine. And it's setting up my Mac. You know, I'm gonna turn the light back on. I think it's just, oh yeah, easier to see that way. Okay, gotta install a few things. It actually looks like it's working properly. This is insane. Wait. Oh, it just opened that back up. That's funny. Oh my god. About this Mac. Yeah, you can see it clearly right there. It's back on. Late 2009, 3.06 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo, 8 gigabytes of the 1067 megahertz DDR3, the same GeForce 9400, 256 megabyte, only a quarter gigabyte of RAM, which isn't good for much, but is enough to play YouTube videos. All apps are going to be compatible with this thing. They will be running in full support. Well, I can't actually guarantee that either. There's not a whole lot I can guarantee. But what I can say is that I'm very glad this worked. I'm very glad that I was able to get this going. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, and with that, I'm officially going to be setting this thing more than likely into the living area as a guest computer, just to have something as like a simple web browser, because that's all it's really gonna be good for. So yeah, I'm going to do a restart, and that is basically it. I will leave the links for the programs necessary in the comment, or in the description of the video. I really hope it works out for you guys. I really hope that you can get some new life into your old machines, because these things need to not be filling up landfills. It's really, really sad to see what type of technology actually gets wasted, because this is a perfectly good machine. It might actually run pretty well now. Just give your machines a little bit of love, give them some patience, give them some time. Make sure that you take the time to do it right, and keep repairing, everyone. Keep repairing.